Wake up and let's go to the Mindless Morning Show.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. Fathers who are listeners, happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day. I had a great one. Hope you did too. And so I'm here with my co-host Dakota, but I'm also here joined with a very special and highly accomplished guest. And I will blow him up because I know he's just too humble to really say much about what he's accomplished. But we have Louis. I'll go through the whole name here. Louis Martin del Campo.
No, you missed two bits of that name because Latino names have double first and double last names.
Is it
Luis?
I told you.
Yeah. but wait for it. There's Luis Alberto, so second name.
Ooh,
then
okay.
Martin del Campo is one last name, and then Gomez, like Adam family Gomez. Gomez is my final last name. So it was hell to write in my exams in school.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound like it fits on that line that they gave you.
It does not. There's not enough space in like the applications for a visa to put all those things in.
Oh shit! I mean that's crazy. Well, yeah, no, totally sorry. Yeah, definitely only found this. But yeah, no. So how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Like we were speaking just before jumping on the recording. It's been a hell of a few weeks. I don't even know where to begin because there's like several threads we could pull on. Everything is like just this massive, amazing bit of work that's joining together things with regenerative education and working with people like women leaders in Mexico. But we're also doing this mapping of people and organizations working in the agro industry in the south of Mexico and Central America, which is giving me a lot of info because one of the things that I'm interested in recently is about how to curb migration going from South America into the US and from Mexico to the US and how we can make it more interesting for people to stay home. And then at the same time, a lot of work with this AI project that I'm a part of, which is essentially like this global brain type of a thing that's going to help us make smart, regenerative, sustainable cities and help everyone be part of this big transformation before we blow ourselves up.
Yep. Yeah. And that's, are you doing that with Andrew?
Yeah, that's right. So,
okay.
So that was interesting because this project's like 32 years old, and I was contacted a few years ago by the inventor of the project. He's the mastermind behind the whole thing. And I joined him because of my, I'm going to quote Liam Neeson, my very particular set of skills. In my case, it's finding the right people. And so in the past few years, I've been the link of this project that was born in Latin America, the link between that and the global north, let's say. So like people that are doing amazing things in the US and so on, but that the project owners couldn't reach because they don't really even speak English well enough and they don't have the connections there. So I'm basically a bridge. And that's a fun thing in like my entire life. One of the things that I found most interesting is this capacity to play like Legos with ideas and with people. So it's like always building things. So if I go into my numerology, because I was born October 22nd. And so 22nd is this number that refers to a master builder. And so just like in the Lego movie, like there's a master builder thing, I feel that.
Nice.
It's incredible how much you accomplish and how much pop culture you still know.
Yeah, I have no idea how I watch so many things. I watch a lot of anime.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
See, I can never get into anime.
It takes the right one, man.
Looking at the wrong ones, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. That's what everybody says. But I don't know, man. I've been pointed to so many. I'm just like, yeah. But I still have to give Attack on Titans a try. I have yet to actually watch that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Absolutely do.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
man. I mean, it's crazy the amount that you've managed to accomplish here. And I mean, clearly you don't even look a day over like 19. So I mean, there's that.
What are you drinking? What can I get you? I'm sending you tequila right now.
Yeah, he's got he's found the fountain of youth out there in Mexico. So that's how he's got all the good energy solutions here for us.
Share some secrets with us. Tell us what it is.
It's meditating and sleeping 5 hours a day. not
5 hours a day. Okay.
Yeah, not recommending this. No. I'm starting to see some gray hairs in my beard. I'm like really worried now.
No, dude, my wife, man, she always comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, I see a gray hair." Look. And I'm like, "Oh, don't you know 2 are gonna come up next time?"
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, she's trying to make me old and gray quick.
Oh, she wants you to look like Saruman.
Yeah,
hey, man,
there you go.
I'll go for it. Yeah, I'll rock it. I'll rock the gray and the beer, salt and pepper.
Robe staff next time you're in an interview.
Thou shalt wait. So, man, tell us about the education program you had co-founded, Kala Education.
Yeah. All right. So Kala Education, that the name is Kala, and that is a wonderful word from the Hawaiian language, and it means three things. First of all, it means forgiveness and letting go and untying, right? And so for me, that's an important thing in terms of both that Ho'oponopono. I don't know if you know this concept. There's like this energetic kind of like healing process that is about forgiveness and letting go. So it's very much related to this. But also it's for me about release, just like release and releasing yourself and releasing old and outdated things. So first meaning. Second meaning is about an entity or thing that communicates a message, kind of like a very angelic thing there. And then the third is a meaning which is the most fun one for me. It's essentially anti-sorcery, kind of like in Harry Potter, Defense Against Dark Arts. It's literally rejecting outside negative influence and reconnecting to who you truly are. And so for me, that's it just encompasses everything that we do and what we stand for, because the entire focus of Kala Education's work is about helping people become truly human. And that is a mouthful. So I'm going to try and unpack that a bit. Because what does it mean to be truly human? And so a few years ago, I designed an educational model that's based on my experience as an entrepreneur and as a human who was, well, more like an alien thrust onto Earth with no instruction manual and told, you have to figure out what it means to be human on your own. Again, no instruction manual, not even an IKEA thing of build it yourself, just figure it out on your own. And so I've studied these things about spirituality and about psychology since I was a child. I was raised by a mom who's a psychologist and a dad who's a business person. So you can see how these things connect in this project.
Yeah.
Some things we cannot escape. And anyway, I had this experience as an entrepreneur since 2008, but particularly 2011. So 10 years ago, I discovered this deep sense of purpose to be a change maker. I saw through this thing called systems thinking and through a philosophy called the Blue Economy, I first learned the language that I needed to understand why I kept seeing but not being able to express that we humans really suck at living on Earth. And we really suck at getting along together with each other and with nature. But I lacked the language, and I kept seeing like, oh, biodegradable soap and biodegradable things, right? And it's like, they sound okay, on the surface, but you look a little bit, it just makes no freaking sense. But I lacked the language on how to understand this. So once I did, I embarked on this quest to see like, wow, the Blue Economy puts forth 100 different technologies and ideas and inspirations of how businesses could be reshaped by learning from nature and applying those lessons into business and into innovation, technology, and so on. So I was really inspired by this and said, well, I want to be a change maker. I want to share these news with the world like an apostle. But just as I said this, there was a really big turning point in my life, February 2011. with this deep sense of purpose and commitment and clarity in my chest. I say, I want to be a change maker. World says, oh, that's very nice. Pats me on the head and says, sit down, dude, and let's have a chat. Join me in my office. And so life starts showing me how the person that I am is not fit to be the change maker that I want to be, or not in alignment, so to speak, with the type of world that I want to be in. And so that's very much like that famous, super cliche phrase by Gandhi, that you have to be the change you want to see in the world. It's a cliche for a reason, sadly, and it's a very true thing. It's like we cannot expect to have a good community, people that are trustworthy and honest, or even have a good relationship with your spouse, if you're not a person who is in alignment with those very things you want to see outside. So basically, you get what you put out. Yeah. And so I learned that not in my head, but I had to learn that like deep down. So because it's one thing to know in your head, it's a different thing to actually live and embody it and just grasp it at a gut, like bone level. And so the experiences I had in those years took me into both being an entrepreneur, phasing those things that I was out of integrity in, such as like this honesty in my relationships, this inflated sense of ego and self-importance, this incapacity to ask for help, this like the inflated pride, like, oh, I have to be perfect because I've always been an overachiever. So I gotta be able to do this on my own. That's bullshit. But you have to smack yourself onto a wall and learn the hard way that those things aren't gonna take you to where you wanna go. So I had a like an accelerated process of learning. And I'm telling you this story because this is important into the educational model that I built and where it came from. Because at some point I'm like, okay, I'm starting to be the change maker I want to be. But then as I start going into the world of social impact and social entrepreneurship, and I start seeing everyone else who's there, at first I was like, I'm like imposter syndrome, like everyone else is amazing and I'm a piece of crap. But then as I start interacting more, like, whoa, no, we all suck. We're all gonna deal with some stuff. And it was really surprising because it's like, dude, I mean, these are supposed to be like the creme de la creme, the best humans out there who are doing change, who are seeing further, like visionaries and inspiring humans. And they're like, no, we're all just people, dude. And seeing it this way is like, wow. So now, why is it that we haven't been able to achieve that impact and the transformation that we want to see in the world? And so I came to realize one big idea and three symptoms of why that's going on, three syndromes. So the big idea is that evil is very well organized and good is terribly badly organized. And what does this even mean? And I know I'm just going like, woo, I haven't even reached about the educational work that we're doing, but this is like the context of why this is important and what stuff we're doing.
It all ties in. Everything's
it'll all tie together. Just let me continue weaving the thing like a little spider. So evil, very organized, good, not so organized. So why is that? And what does that mean? So even if evil doesn't like each other, because there's like competing gangs and things, they can all agree on some things that they like. They like chaos, they like misinformation, they like violence, they like having guns, they like being outside of law, they like tricking. And so even if they don't get along with each other, even if they are competing, still they agree that those are the conditions they like. So they tend to push and make those things happen. Mm-hmm. Whereas good finds it very hard to agree on what is better. So it's like, we're supposed to be vegans. No, we're supposed to be ultra vegans. We're supposed to just eat air, or we're supposed to be sustainable, but also eat meat. But so I mean, this is just a stupid thing, but it's like in so many things and topics, we can't agree on what's better, and we can't agree on a common purpose. And even if we do often, and here's the three syndromes, even if we agree on a particular, like, oh, we want to help the puppies. Yeah, but at some point, the inflated egos come in and it's like, yeah, we all want to help the puppies, but I don't like you, or I don't trust you, or I don't something. So even if we both want to do the same thing, I'm going to screw you over because I want to have that, my face on Forbes or Entrepreneur or this article or whatever. Or I decide that I'm the only one with the answers and everyone else is dumb. And so no one shares the thing, right? So inflated egos and so on brings individualism. and the stuff we want to achieve is only achieved collectively. So fail number one. Fail number two is that because of this inflated ego, we lack communication and collaboration skills. And so we might agree on something we want to achieve, but we can't find how to synergize and how to work together. And so that becomes a lot of like tripping other people over because, you know, we're both looking for that funding, but I'm going to screw them over because I want it for myself. And then no one gets it. And then someone else gets it.
Right.
That happens way too often. Or not collaborating on a thing because, again, we want to have the picture and in this place or that place. And a third thing that happens way too often is that we don't really understand what we want to fix or we want to solve. And so it's a lot of good intentions badly executed and a lot of effort and resources that are wasted, such as there's this very popular example. There's this company, which will not be named, that used to sell shoes, or they sell shoes, and it was like a buy one, give one thing, where you buy a pair of nice, fancy shoes, and they'll gift some of these, like a pair of shoes to someone in Africa. Ring a bell?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so what's the script? Because that sounds nice, doesn't it? It's like free shoes. That's amazing. You know, people in Africa don't have shoes. So that's the logic. And that's like this idea that we hold. And so what happened there, that was the sucky thing, is that it just became a boatload of logistics of like shipping shoes to Africa. And then the African shoemakers went out of business because there were so many free shoes. And so now there were more people without income because free shoes. And then also a lot of Africans didn't even wear shoes. They were like, what is this? What do I use this for? Do I eat this? Do I, use this to make ceiling, plug something? Like, what is the thing?
Right.
So because it looked like a good thing, it kind of smelled like a good thing for us in our ivory tower of privilege over in, first world country. But third world country, or even like in the slums in your own city, like there's just this huge disconnect from the different realities. And so good intentions can often lead to bad things. So there's a phrase that says today's solutions are tomorrow's problems. So those three things, because we're not aware of them, we just trip over those three things, which are the main like headaches, which mean we can't achieve, or we can't get to that thing we want to achieve. And so evil keeps winning because we don't fix those things. So I realized those things. I'm like, wow, holy crap. We need to fix that. I mean, if we don't fix that, every other thing we're doing is just going to fall on its face. And so that plus the book that I wrote in 2014, which helped me go a little bit deeper in that direction. The book I wrote called The Dream of Mexico in 2034 was an exploration of what my country could be like and look like if we implemented these changes in ourselves and these changes in how the economy works to make it regenerative, to make connect the dots, instead of having like waste be thrown away and so on. Like, wow, all these opportunities for new businesses, for amazing new tech. What would my country look like? So as I'm writing this book, it led me to not write just about the technology and economics part. It became an exploration of how we should transform ourselves. So all of these ingredients went into building this educational model that I mentioned in 2016, as I just had gone bankrupt, had gone broke in that project that I started in 2011. I was depressed living in Mexico City, like, oh, wow, I'm sucking. Like, who should I become? What should I be? What should I do with my life? And I go into this deep process of reconnecting and reinventing myself. And I was thinking like, okay, I have an opportunity to first go back home after many, many years of being abroad. Second, I can choose who I want to be. So who do I want to be now? And what's my life about? And as I was stripping away the layers of what society expected of me and what I expected of myself, I came to that central, immovable thing, which was that sense of purpose that awakened in 2011, that was there since I was a kid. And it's this sense of you are on this planet to help people live better and thrive in harmony with nature. How you do it, that's an entirely different question, and it can be a look in many ways, but that's what you came here for. You're free to not do it, you don't have to do it, but you've already experienced that when you depart from this sense of purpose, which happened in the year before that, then you wither away and you feel like crap.
Yeah.
And so as I reconnect to this, I'm thinking like, okay, what are my talents? What have I learned? Who have I become over these years? And I took all these lessons that I just shared with you in very nutshell-ish fashion. And I looked and started thinking, okay, I want to go deeper into understanding who we can be, who we might become. So that's that and this amazing book by Robert Greene called Mastery were a big inspiration into reaching into the ether to learn more about and to try to understand how is it that we might express the full potential of what it means to be human and just what it means to be human. And so for me, that has 7 pillars, which Josh, I've already lectured him about this at length.
I got all my notes written down on paper.
Nice. There's going to be an exam later.
Okay,
That's
good.
awesome. I'm like, I should have been taking notes from the beginning, man. I'm over here like learning so much right now.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it's always refreshing to hear things like this because I don't think a lot of people hear things at all truly positive or in any kind of way to shape any bit of positivity out of their lives. Now it's just like, oh, are you depressed? Oh, it's okay. Just take this. Or it's a bunch of just stupid, terrible solutions. And that our solutions today are problems tomorrow. But yeah, I love that, by the way. It's amazing.
And that is literally what we are doing when we're taking pills and when we're like depending on stuff to get us like somewhat in a manageable state, like a semi-functional state. And I mean, for me, it's amazing to know that the US, for example, is the leading country in the world in terms of like over-the-counter drug use and consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Like for sleeping pills or for anxiety pills or for studying pills or for just anything, like there's a pill for everything. It's terrifying.
Yep.
And a lot of it has to do with this disconnection from self. It's like if we took the time to sit with ourselves for a little bit and listen to who we truly want to be. There's that little voice that gets louder when you listen to it more, but that gets really quiet when we are constantly going away from that and being seduced by Instagram life type of things. If we just listen to that, then it's just so easier to start finding the synchronicities in the path that says, this is what you're supposed to be doing because that's what you really want to do.
Yep.
So 7 pillars to this way of becoming truly human, what it means to be truly human. So first pillar is to recognize and remember that you are life and you are a member of the web of life. That has a lot of things in there, but essentially 2 big ideas. You have this compulsion, this drive to evolve and to create conditions conducive to life. So you are a living thing, and because you are alive, life itself as a system says you are meant to make more conditions that allow more of you to exist. And as you're experiencing things, you're learning, you're adapting. So, I mean, all life does this. But we are not just any kind of life. We're a very particular twist of life. So that's pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is we are imbued with this capacity to choose. So we get to choose constantly, not just alive, but also adapting consciously. And the third pillar is this bit about consciousness. So we are life that gets to choose. It has a capacity to choose a different path. And if we can exercise it consciously, then we get to create consciously and not just in automatic. So does that make sense so far?
Yep.
And then pillar number 4 is about where we choose from. Because if we are just choosing in terms of what we have in autopilot, the things we were told as kids that we're supposed to be doing, the things that we learn from media and so on, then we are living someone else's life. So pillar number 4 is about knowing yourself in authenticity, in complete self-honesty, in such a way that you can choose things consciously that allow you to thrive.
And I will say, I feel social media is one of the biggest shadows, or the biggest things casting a shadow on that pillar in a sense to where so many people just look to be accepted by a bunch of fucking numbers, really, because you don't know half the people you talk to. You don't almost know anybody that you talk to on social media these days. And to like desire those people's acceptance, or they're like that you just need some type of affirmation from them is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Like
it's like we are outsourcing our worth.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
it's exactly what it is. Yeah,
man.
And so for me, that was a really powerful. I'm going to take a pause from the pillars and backtrack to 2011 when I recognized my sense of purpose. When I said I want to become change maker and blah blah blah, and the world said sit the fuck down and learn about yourself. A few months later, I had to break up with a girlfriend, and it was an important breakup because it meant to be truthful about how I was feeling about this relationship. And it wasn't just about breaking up, it was about breaking up right, with honesty. Because it wasn't just it's not you, it's me thing, right? It was like, okay, you did this and this and this, which is a reflection of how badly you are in the relationship, but it's also a reflection of how you don't love yourself. So for me, having this moment exactly 10 years ago, June 2011, this moment of wow, now I understand why I've been sleeping around and being dishonest and learning about being a pickup artist and all these things. It's because I don't love myself enough. I don't love myself, period. And for me, it was such a powerful thing because since I was a child, I was super unadapted. Like I was a misfit among misfits, and I grew up in this way, and I tried to reach out to build and to know how to become a friend and how can you say this? Well, just a boyfriend or a son, a brother, like the roles you play in society. And I was struggling to find my place. Music helped a lot. But one of the things that really at that point in time when I was 17 gave me a lot of like a boost of confidence was learning about like pickup artists and seduction and blah, 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 which was at that time useful because it gave me a lot of tools to understand social dynamics. But as I went along, I stopped being myself and just became this like mask over mask over mask over mask of social dishonesty. And so my friendships, a lot of them were based on this falsehoods. My relationship then was based on that. And I just lost track of where the mask began and my face ended, And so that moment in 2011 was this powerful breaking point of self-rediscovery. Like, wow, this is the hurt and the wound that I've been carrying for so long. And so now that I see it, I get to choose consciously, going back to the pillars, choose consciously who I want to be now. Like, how do I want to live? Is this the way that makes me feel good about myself? And I realized that it sucked. And I didn't feel good with myself because I wanted to be an uplifter. And I also didn't feel good because I wasn't either uplifting myself or the other people that I was around. So what I've discovered, and this is the actual fountain of youth thing that you were alluding to in the beginning, is that when you live a life of self-honesty and alignment, that's when that fountain of youth thing sets in. Because then you are just in this constant replenishing of energy. It's like people say, how the hell do you do all these things that you're doing? You're 33 and you've done all these things. And I often don't have a clue as to how I get through my day with those infinite like things to do and like schedules. But somehow things happen and somehow I haven't imploded or burnt out. And I know that it's because I am listening to myself and to this inner guidance system that says, because you choose a life of honesty and self-authenticity, then all the prompts and inspirations you're going to get are going to guide you to those places. And you're constantly being replenished. You always have fuel to keep going. It's a pretty fun thing.
Yeah, it sounds
I
like
that.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than crack.
It's like you have your own crack.
Oh shit. So I mean, I gotta say again, because I can't stress it enough. It's great, like having you here to talk about these kind of things and spread this awareness. Because, I mean, really, we kind of need to get you like a world stage and just like broadcast you live on TV, just talk to people.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Also, I would love to to provide a counterpoint to the Tony Robbinses of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I have a very personal opinion to those things, and it's that I feel that kind of a process leads you away from that self-authenticity I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it becomes like you acquire the Tony Robbins mask, and it gives you a superpower. It does power you up, but also it's not you. It's not truly you. And so, anyway, that's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell just any one person how to be, and it kind of apply to all. I mean, humans are so complex in nature in themselves, really, but I mean, we've almost become such simple sheep lately.
Our beliefs is what it comes down to. Like, how do you talk to people that are stubborn in their own beliefs to get them to follow something like this, I guess?
And what I've found, and this is going back to the pillars, by the way, what I've found is that I a few years ago, I stopped trying to convince people or stopped trying to evangelize, because I was just like running up against wall over wall of like, hey, I have this amazing thing that's going to turn your life around. It's going to make you happy and thriving. And people were like, hey, what are you talking about? No, I'm not interested. And so, because it's like the people who need it the most are the least ready to hear it.
Right.
That's been like mind-boggling. For example, everyone has seen those Instagram posts or things that say like, oh, things I wish they had taught me when I was in high school, right? Like, yeah, they should have taught me about taxes. They should have taught me about this and that. And I've gone to the high schools and told them, I have a thing that's going to help you like get light years in front of, like get ahead of the stuff you're going to be facing in a few years' time. They're like, nope, not interested. What even is tax? So it's only until you realize that you need it,
crazy,
that you see, oh, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
So instead of that, I started thinking and acting in ways of, okay, I'm going to go and stand and talk to the people who are most near this vibe, this way of seeing the world, but aren't quite there yet, so that I can just give them a nudge to get them into that next level. And that's been a way better decision and a way better way of going about these things and of building a business out of this. And so I'm going to finish those 3 pillars, and then I'm going to share a bit about the type of work we're doing, which is very fun, and that's exactly this type of approach. The last 3 pillars, real quick. The first 4 were all about me, my connection to I'm a living thing. I am conscious. I get to choose, and I get to choose from a place of authenticity. Everything about me. But then pillar number 5 is about going to beyond yourself. So it's, yes, you're choosing things that make you happy and that make you thrive, but you can only thrive when the people around you are thriving as well. Because no man is an island, like that famous phrase. And so you have to learn to navigate social dynamics, to have social intelligence, to build empathy, basically how to play well with others. And so pillar number 5 is about learning those things, because you build yourself up, you build your relationship with yourself in the first 4, and of yourself as a living thing, part of nature. But because you're part of this bigger system, you have to learn to work with this bigger system. That's number 5. Number 6 is that it's not enough to get to know yourself once, like I did in 2011. It's not enough to go and have this one moment of what's the word? Like when the sky parts, ray of light beams down on you.
Like an epiphany.
Epiphany. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. So it's not enough to have one epiphany. You have to be constantly having these mini epiphanies of yourself every day, because you're always learning about what you like, what you don't like, what's best for you, how you adapt, how you respond. So you have to keep up with this evolving you. That's pillar number 6, because then you're evolving while learning in this dynamics that you live with people around you, and that allows you to be more authentic every day and choose better. Right? So going back on the pillars. And then number 7 is all of the above in service to the web of life. So you are life in service of life and enjoying life through the conscious creation and expression of you authentically in harmony and in synergy with the people around you. And that, my friends, is the meaning of life.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love I love every bit about it. And I mean, it's something that I feel is just such an easy concept to say. Like, this is it. This is all you had to do. Like, I mean, how hard can it possibly be to look into your inner self? But people are continuously influenced by the worst of everything, especially with social media, and people have been unfortunately programmed to just like buy into it right then and there, and it sucks. And like you say, evil is a lot more organized, and good is all over the place. And I mean, if any Disney movies and all those I watched as kids taught me anything, that's surely true.
Yeah, I don't make this stuff up, dude. It's all there.
The villains always
They've been
got
telling
these
us for ages.
long, elaborate plans. The good guys always get the shit kicked out of them till like the very end when they're like at the bottom barrel and have nowhere else to go but up. And
that's very funny because I mean it's when they reach that bottom of the barrel that they finally allow themselves to break open those masks and be who they are truly. So it's the same concept.
And we don't have to hit the bottom of the barrel. We just need to stop in our tracks and make the improvement that we want to see.
But it doesn't make for a good movie that way. So.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the movie and not live the fuck up yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So all right. So, I mean, for those who don't know, I've met Lewis through HBI, which is the Howard Bloom Institute that we started working together with, and it a lot of fun. So, it's first off, I can't wait to get Andrew on sometime.
Yeah,
he's got a lot going on, especially with the new cryptocurrency he's released. But so what is it in the big project? What's the main, or can you speak on this big project with the big global brain AI? Is this going to be the real Skynet?
Not the real Skynet, because that one gets everyone killed. No, it's the AntiSkynet.
Oh, okay.
AntiSkynet.
Okay. Which is probably the best way to put it now that I come think of it. So imagine literally this digital twin of the Earth and of the people in it and the flows of economy and energy and products and services. And because this thing knows where everything is, very much like Waze or Google Maps, then it's like an economic GPS. It knows where everyone is and where they're going and where the stuff is flowing to and from. And then it can help us make way better decisions about how to connect the dots between our economy, right? So instead of there being that factory over there that's making a lot of these product A and having a lot of these waste things come out, now this AI system can say, oh, those waste streams from over there, all this trash from over here is actually this guy's treasure. And if you put in this technology, then that trash over there becomes this new thing, which is useful for everyone. And then that trash from that process becomes this inflow into this new process. And so it's just connecting all the dots constantly. And that's just one of the few things it does. Right. It's going to allow us to really know for the first time ever who built what and where, and if they're being paid right. And if not, it's going to allow us to shift things so that people get paid right for their work, which is just that's going to make so many people have access to actually being able to thrive as humans, right? It's going to help us build self-sustaining bioregions. So imagine if each city had its own, like, let's air quote, factories that build or produce the food that each bioregion needs based on how many people there are in there and what they consume. So just like these big box stores can foretell what you're going to be buying, and they can even tell if you're pregnant before you know. We can take all that same data, but now say, oh, all of these people are buying all of these things, which means we need all of these production streams, all of these, but instead of making them half a world away, now they're going to be made as locally as possible and with as little waste as possible. And then everyone gets to be a partner of this city and of this bioregion. So everyone is a partner of the big company that's giving everyone what they need, which is mind-blowing because now you can have dividends from the city that you live in just by being a consumer of the stuff that you need to live. So it's this transforming of the way. It's like we take the best of capitalism and the best from communism and we put it into a new thing, which is essentially copying the way the human body works and then turning it into this economic system for everyone. And what comes out of this is this grand global human project where everyone and every city is a member and a part of it. So it's like having a common purpose as humans for the first time ever, but in a very measurable way and in a way that's also more profitable. Because this thing that we were building is designed to be even more profitable than traditional capitalism. So it's like, it's just win-win-win all over, which is so freaking exciting. And so the work with Andrew is particularly interesting because it's like we were destined to meet because he put together the rails and the tech, essentially the soul of the machine that we designed and built. So we provide the body and the mind, and he provides the soul. And that's just like this quantum. We can finally step into truly the information age and finally make use of the internet the way it was designed to be used.
For sure.
I felt like I was about to start watching an anime.
I've never heard capitalism and communism go together and sound so good together.
That's because we've been made to think in terms of binary, like polar opposites. Like, oh, this cannot jive with this. No, of course they can. Yeah, they can.
I'm just saying, you never hear it.
No, never before heard until now.
So I mean that's fucking badass. I mean, so what would something like that really entail doing though? Because I mean, one, you need like some quantum ass computer to really handle all of that kind of that processing power through AI, and then how do you go about changing the world, almost like stopping it on a dime of what it's been doing to completely kind of basically just flip it upside down and get everything going the proper way?
You ever heard of jujitsu?
Oh, you just kick people's ass?
Yeah.
we punish them until the morale improves and they like our stuff. No, so jujitsu works by taking the strength of your enemy and using it in your favor. Okay. In this case, it's about people are already following money.
Yeah.
And so a lot of change makers are about, yeah, we have to do this and you have to be okay with earning less money. It's like that. No one wants that. No one wants to be in that party.
Yeah. Right.
But what we're doing is we designed this in a way, well, not even us, like the inventor of the project, because he is the mastermind behind the whole thing. But anyway, we designed it in such a way that, again, it's more profitable and it's more interesting. So traditional money, big capitalism, can go and say, wow, that's an investment that I'm interested in, because if I put my money there, it's going to make me, again, more money. It's also going to be less risk, because it's a demand-driven economy instead of a push economy. So now there's less waste, which means I lose less money on wasteful stuff, and I can be more predictive about my future gains. And that sounds pretty good. So a friend of mine put it this way. It's like people are already following this sign in front of the carrot that says money. We just have to turn the way the carrot is facing, right? Or lead them in a different direction, not off the cliff, but back into the grassy, happy, sunny meadows.
Okay.
I like it.
I mean, I for the most part, people have become very simple-minded human beings, so should work.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't yet know about this, like connecting to self and authenticity thing. So we need a longer runway so that more people can know about these things. And the only way to get that longer runway is by, again, leveraging the sheepleness of people currently, as horrible as that sounds, and just using this for their own advantage.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
you're trying to help the sheepleness. You're trying to get rid of it. So.
Yeah, I'm using the sheepleness to get rid of the sheepleness.
Exactly. Use the strength against them.
Yeah, at least you're leading them to get a proper groom and not just shaved and slaughtered. So,
Yeah.
much better.
Right.
I mean, I can get behind it. I mean,
Yeah.
a little communism can't hurt.
Well, it's really I mean, now that you mentioned this, there's a lot of the things that we really value about the current system that actually come from I wouldn't say communist inspired things, but really, I mean, the social security things that a lot of people depend on to this day are not pure capitalism.
Yeah.
And so the things that we value that enable us to have like good roads and internet that is cheap and accessible and like so many public services are based on having a capacity to manage the commons, the thing that everyone gets to use and that nobody really owns. So, pure capitalism, that's not it either.
Who's been doing it wrong from the start?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I get that they kind of have to introduce things in very slow phases so people don't just go running out buying toilet paper until it's all gone.
Yeah, we do this.
That's apparently what we do. Yeah. So, all right. So I just want to ask this. I mean, it's pretty obvious it has helped you immensely, but how has being spiritual been able to help you in your success with everything going forward?
Well, it is an everyday. Sorry, what?
I said, I stumped him.
Like, does spirituality really work? I guess. So I take a pause and go within when people ask me these questions, because I always like to go and find my most up-to-date answer. It's like a friend of mine was asking, like, what does love mean to you? I'm like, well, I'm not going to take that old answer from 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I'm going to go ask myself now. So how has spirituality helped me with all these things? On the one side, it's a constant reminder to be grateful. And that is, it's both something that is about working in my own humility, but at the same time, it's a trick in terms of it is a way to prime my own pump to stay in the proper place, the emotional and vibrational space that attracts more good things to me. So on the one side, spirituality has been like this like cheat code. On the other, it's been this, I guess, journey and this path and this set of tools that gives me two things. One, more, again, tools to continue discovering myself, but also it's a way to make life way more fun. Because when you go into this spiritual path and you start appreciating everything around you and start looking at the world through this like childish eyes of wonder and like appreciating, like, whoa, there's a bird. It's a pretty cool bird. It's a look at the colors. It's amazing. I mean, life just becomes way more fun because you're more thrilled and you're more amused by everyday things. You don't need like constantly higher doses of things to be. I mean, I know that this sounds very much like I'm high on life, which sounds horrible, but it really is about finding the sacred and the wonderful in the everyday, in the mundane. And that just makes life way worth living, like way more worth living. Because then you're not just waiting for, life sucks and then there's vacation, or life sucks and then there's Friday. Because I mean, that's a horrible way to live. It's like, why not enjoy every second? Because you never know when you're going to die.
Which is how the majority of the world lives.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. And so what you were saying there got me thinking about the two main rules: the truth at any price, including the price of your life.
Yeah. And
to look at things right under your nose as if you've never seen them before, and then proceed from there. Because that's the one thing I really do like, as far as just always taking in the scenery, not, being like glued to your phone and looking at everything through a camera lens or from somebody else's Instagram post or anything like that. Like look at it with your own eyes, be there, experience what is there in front of you. And I think a lot of people would be a lot happier if they stayed off social media. If they,
Absolutely.
I don't think many people have, like being born around it and growing up with it for like the newer age kids, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of destroyed them. Like I didn't have social media really back then. What I had was AIM, and I was just talking to my friends from school.
AIM and like Facebook just started was what it was. But I feel like the biggest thing for me when I was growing up was like anything that was considered spiritualism, at least around me, was like you were called a hippie.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And then I mean South Park obviously didn't help with that either, but that's just like growing up for me. Yeah. that's what like spiritualism would always like connect to, was like, oh, you're just a hippie. And I don't know.
I've appropriated the term, and now I've coined the term professional hippie.
Professional.
So I label myself a professional hippie.
Hey man,
Nice.
you make hippie look good. So I mean, most well-groomed hippie I've ever seen. I gotta say though, TV's made them look like they're always having the most fun and that they're always happy. So what's the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a horrible deal. Like enjoy yourself every day, be having fun, laugh. You know,
Unacceptable.
Do that.
Unacceptable.
I thrive in chaos.
So with all your spiritualism stuff, have you ever tried the astral projection stuff?
Well, yeah, I've attempted it. I don't think I have actually consciously achieved it. I think I've had a couple of those, but like spontaneously. I've gone on these nightly sojourns with one of my teachers, and we did some. This is gonna sound very much like another anime, but like, you know, battling things in the ethereal realm.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah. But yeah, no joke. I mean, it's really funny because it's hard to tell when you're just sleeping, like, or having a dream, or it's actually a projection. But it's just when you live it, it's like, wow, it's so distinct, like this feeling of realness. Very, very particular feeling. It's like, have you ever had this feeling that there's a thought in your head that's not yours? Like, a thought came in. It's like, whoa. I mean, I don't usually think of these topics. Like, where did this come from? So you can tell. So just like you can tell with this, you can tell when you're astral projecting type of thing, or when you're just regular dreaming.
That makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely had some weird thoughts in my head come
I do have one more question. It doesn't have to, well, I mean, it might, I guess, but you have any story about that mask behind you?
Well, not a particular one, no. I mean, it's not a particularly exciting one. So
I don't know if cool, so
I don't know if the podcast people can see the finger.
Did you really?
When we first talked,
it's really cool, and it's right behind him the whole time.
Well, so I mean, this mask thing is a jaguar from the Yucatan, and it has several interesting symbology. So first, these dragon-like things are a Mayan god called Kukulkan, which is called the feathered serpent, is what it means. And
I know him from Smite, Josh.
And then this guy here up top is the carrier of time, the keeper of time.
Nice.
So, and then this thing, interestingly, is this symbol is kind of like part of a Peruvian symbol. There's a Peruvian thing called a chacana, which is like this compass that they use to orient themselves and to build monoliths with as a guidepost. But then also this little thing here, which symbolizes speech in the Mayan runes. So, but anyway, I mean, it's not a particular story. I mean, I did not come upon this exploring some ruins. It was gifted to me by a friend.
Like an Indiana Jones type story. Yeah.
Afterwards.
I wish I had stories like that one. That part I do want. That's still missing from my life.
Well, either way, it's really cool looking. And even awesomer with all those symbols. So,
and man, I mean, there's so much to get into it with what you've accomplished and done, but I mean, we'll just have to simply get you back, because I really want the listeners with this episode to really focus on the positivity of everything that's been talked about here, and to really kind of open their minds to being that better human, to being their true authentic self, because I feel like there's just way too many fake people out there nowadays, or people that don't even know who they really are,
unfortunately,
and they're out in like human
lost souls, man, lost souls.
And the wonderful thing about talking about this is that it is an opportunity to connect to a different wavelength, because when you're just like if your attention is constantly going into, you know, the world sucks, life sucks, everything sucks, then that's all you're gonna see. It's like there's this, I don't know if you have it in the US, but in Mexico we have this saying, or this game we play. It's called the Yellow Volkswagen. It's like you're looking for yellow Volkswagens, and the moment you start playing the game, you start noticing a lot of yellow Volkswagens. And anyway,
this is true.
So it's the same thing. It's like if you're looking out for like horrible things to look at, then that's all you're going to find, like reasons to be depressed and sad. But if you start, you know, giving yourself a chance to, oh, there might be hope. There's a glimmer of hope. There's a glimmer of goodness in my day. There's something to appreciate. There's good food. There's good weather. There's anything that makes you feel good. Like one of the things that I routinely do is when I wake up, I lay in my bed, I'm like, my bed's really freaking awesome. It's really comfy, dude.
Yeah.
Just wake up with good feeling. And it's just as simple as feeling good in your bed.
Yeah. I mean, well, as humans, we're programmed in the routines that we get in. So basically another cliche is what you're saying is like, get out of that routine, stop and actually smell the flowers. Right.
Yeah. yeah. Like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Like, here's the chance to stop, smell the flowers, enjoy.
Yeah, I think the Kool-Aid Man was on to something. You just got to break through the walls and say, "Oh yeah, be positive."
Yeah.
Don't worry about the broken wall.
Right.
Don't worry about the tons of property damage I just did.
What property damage?
Oh shit. Well, I mean, I gotta say, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you again, and more so, it's such an honor to be able to like kind of hoist your voice up there for all to see, and really, I mean, this is definitely something the world needs. So really, who knows, man, if you happen to make us famous, thank you.
I'll be more than happy to be a rising tide for everyone.
The mindless self-help with Luis.
I love it.
Could see it already.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Is there any bit of wisdom you would like to share?
Any more wisdom?
Yeah, I've totally kind of forgotten to do all this. I used to do it so often, almost every guest, ask them if they had any little bit of wisdom they'd like to share before leaving, and kind of forgotten about doing it up until now, though. Like now,
because he dropped so much wisdom and knowledge on you, it was like, oh, I forgot to ask everybody else.
I know. This makes up for everybody. That's okay.
Yeah. Nice. Condensed wisdom. Yeah, I think in my case it should be, is there anything mundane you want to talk about?
Yeah. Say something normal.
Yeah. Why aren't you a normal human?
So when's the last time you guys did some drugs, man? I don't. Fuck. Mundane. You got a kid? That keeps your life pretty mundane. You're doing the same things, taking care of you. Eat, I'm hungry. Okay.
It keeps you very grounded. It does.
Yeah, it's true.
100%.
Can't fly.
I didn't even think of a thing. Continuing with that thing about the wisdom and stuff. So a good friend of mine a few years ago, just when I was speaking about like, discovery of my life purpose and, big, hairy idea. Wow. And I was going around asking people like, yeah, so what's your purpose? Still with that inflated ego. And then with this friend, he's a friend from the UK. He was a really interesting person. He's still alive. He is both a math teacher, creative writer / boxer. And I'm like, whoa, I mean, what must be, what's his life purpose?
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm asking him, he's like, my life purpose is to be, to make a good family, to raise good humans. I'm like, wow, that just blew me away. So I was thinking about world transforming purposes. Like he's like, yeah, I just want to be a good human and make more good humans. Like, what better purpose is there than to make more good humans?
That's definitely my goal with my kid. I don't want her to be a crappy human, but
Yeah.
it is about, and I mean, it could be argued that like some people think they're doing really great with their kids, they're not doing so. So I mean, it's a bit different, but I mean, for the most part, we're all just trying to raise future husbands, wives, whatever they want to call themselves in the next 10 years or so. It is what it is, and I really think that it can be that simple. Like, as long as you're doing what you like to do and you're happy by the end of it, like if you could die happy tomorrow, or like you could feel fairly accomplished if you had to die tomorrow or something, then I feel like cool, you're on the right path. But like, if you can honestly say that you're not happy if you were to die tomorrow, not just because you're going to die, obviously, because that fucking sucks, but like from what you've accomplished and how you feel about everything that you have accomplished, then you should probably change that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be pissed because like my kid's only 2, so I want more years. Damn it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that reason that Louise said for his friend, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why I continued to work at daycare after doing it for the first time.
He was because steal a kid.
Well, quiet down, they're gonna know you're back there. No, to just like to give back, whatever knowledge or whatever good that I have to help kind of raise that youth to make them grow into better people, and have them start at that young age. And yeah, I mean, it's been great and a good experience to do it and see them grow up, and being able to be with them for a couple of years and see them get older and change is always really cool. So
it's awesome. It's like when you plant a tree and you see it grow, and you know that you're not going to be there when it starts to giving it shade,
yeah,
but you're still looking at it grow.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be there.
and as you're saying this, I'm thinking like, we never really know the value of how our being there in this case with these kids. Mm-hmm. Like, we never know what's going on in their house and in their context. So maybe that time that they're with you in the daycare or whatever is that ray of sunshine that's keeping them good. That's showing them a different path from something that's going on wrong, or it's inspiring them to something new. So I mean, just that little bit of contact.
Yep. It goes a long way. Especially for me too. It keeps me getting up and going to work every single day. So
nice.
You just never know who you could be touching.
Yeah,
that sounded wrong, but
there
was really no good way to say that.
Don't take that one out of context.
Yeah. I love it because every time I've heard that quip so many times, and it never fails to both make me laugh and also like a little bit cringe. Like, oh, we should know better by now. And never to go like, oh, I'm so touched by you. That's wrong.
Yeah, you said it on purpose. I know you did.
I'm so verbally touched.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is no like great way of saying it. It's society that has made that saying bad. So yeah, I mean, you never really know who all you have made an impact on.
There you go.
There.
Better word.
There's some better verbiage. That I mean, you just don't. And I mean, when I had Howard Bloom on, and he had talked about how he stops at every single dog that he sees on his walks and stuff and pets them. And I was like, I don't think you realize, but you make those owners happy more than likely, unless some of them are just like really crazy and like, oh God, what does this creep want?
Yeah.
Like,
don't touch my dog.
Most people, like, when you show like their dog is like their kid, but one that you can kind of walk up to and pet. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You can't just walk up and pet a kid, but
wait, you can't.
It's one of those things that you're going to bring a smile to them, or like kind of take them out of their train of thought, which is probably like something that's stressing them out, whatever's on their mind as they're out walking about, and it gives them that bit of happiness. And so, I mean, it's you just never know who all you're impacting overall. Like, even just by stepping through a door, I'm sure so many like ladies would see you and they'd be like, So you never know who you make the impact on.
A smile and a hello can go a very long way.
This is true. Very true.
Yep.
I mean, shit. I'm guilty of it. Like I'm very bad with making any type of connections outside of my walls, just because like I already know usually how it's gonna go. It's like go away.
Why are you predisposed to these things?
Man, you ever seen that what was it, DreamWorks movie called Home with like that little purple alien?
I don't think I did. No.
They call him O, and it mainly because every time they see him, they're like, that's me. Yeah, no, I know I can be overbearing at times for sure. I've gotten a lot better, I think. Maybe my voice got a little high because that's probably a lie. So there you go.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, but I technically haven't seen you outside the confines of your home either. So
yeah, we've never. I mean, I've never met any of my two past co-hosts or this co-host now. So
yeah,
we're just virtual.
Just virtual. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Unfortunately, most of the people I do talk to nowadays, like throughout like my day, are people I've never actually met. And honestly, I'm okay with it because I mean my sole focus is my wife and kid, and they're always home with me. So like it's just not really a thing to think about. But
right.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Now
that I'm thinking about it, oh man,
you gotta get out of the house more, man.
I know, I definitely do. I'm
take a walk, go pet a dog.
Josh can't stop and smell the roses because there's no roses in his house.
Yeah, my dog's ruined her garden. I can't grow my peppers anymore. Damn it.
Man.
Indoor garden, out of reach of the pup.
We did. We have a one of the little arrow gardens from Miracle Grow or whatever. It's dope. Really good cilantro, really good fucking basil. Like, but it's just so small. It's not good enough for me. Like, I want to build like one of those like hydroponic walls in my garage, but somebody's gonna think I'm growing something else.
It's just a garden.
Yeah.
You want some tomatoes, Jerry?
It's medicinal. It's medicinal. I have a prescription.
I have a prescription for these tomatoes.
Yeah, they're great. They're delicious. Shit.
That made me think of The Simpsons' Tomako.
Milk steaks? Anybody like milk steaks?
Love milk steaks, man. Rum ham.
Yeah, there's just so many weird foods that are so good. Mainly from pop culture. I don't think I've actually tried a milk steak. I don't think I ever would. It just sounds terrible.
In my head, I'm just like now laughing a bit and wondering if this is all going to continue being part of the podcast. Because we
absolutely.
Like, wait,
It's just like a whole
this is the Mindless Morning Show. We went from like super positive, good messages to like, all right, now let's be a little dumb here. So yeah, no. So we should yeah. Okay, you're right. We should stop at this. But next time, next time
on the Mindless Show,
we will definitely
more mindless.
we will definitely make it our bigger focus and talk about all your holotropic breathings.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yes.
So.
Yeah, next time I'll be prepared to take notes.
Yeah, I'll send you my notes I took the first time I talked to him.
Yeah, send them over.
So thank you again, man, so much for joining us, taking time out. I know you got a really busy schedule, so I really do appreciate you taking the time out to kind of come hang out with us and get a little mindless with us.
Man, it's a blessing, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, man, and
it's been awesome.
That's that positivity. That's that positivity that counts the most. And,
listeners, spread that positivity around. And so
Yeah.
we need
Feel good. Wake up in the morning, feel good in your bed, and love your pillow, love your spouse, love yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
the way to go. It's the way to go.
Definitely share this so everybody gets the positivity. I don't even care if you don't follow me at this point. Like this video just needs to be a spread.
Just share this
spread out
one.
message.
Click share.
Yeah. So, well, thanks again, man. And
Thank you.
yeah, everybody, stay mindless.
Stay mindless,
Be
guys.
positive.
And positive. Mindless and positive.
Positively mindless.
There you go. Better.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.